Hello everybody, it's Wendy and I am here today with a necklace tutorial using beadingschool.com products. But first we have a little bit of words of wisdom, so do all the good you can and make it as little fuss about it as possible. Charles Dickens said that, and Charles Dickens was a wise man. So do all the good you can and make as little fuss about it as possible. Gotta love that. That's awesome. All right, so today we have a couple of different boxes that we're working out of from beadingschool.com. I will have links in the description box below. So I'm working with the Bloom box. This is curated by Erica Sandor, and we're using some products out of it. And I'm using some products out of the Summer Spirit box, also curated by Erica. And I have unboxings for these. I will link them in the description box below this video as well. So what you're going to need is, I've got a medallion. This is the medallion from the Summer Spirit box. It's absolutely beautiful. I love this color. It's beautiful green. And then I have my own piece of filigree. This came from my own stash, and we're going to be doing some layering with this, okay? So I'm going to be gluing this on top, and then I've got this cabochon from the Summer Spirit box, and I'm going to be gluing it on too. And as you can see, you can take one plain medallion and create, or one plain filigree piece and create something really pretty just by gluing some pieces together. So we're going to be using that. So you're going to need some E6000 glue. I have got this beautiful little purple beaded chain from the Summer Spirit. I think this is from the Summer Spirit box. This may be from the Bloom box. I get confused as to what comes from what box, but I think this is from the Summer Spirit box. It's gorgeous. Little beaded chain, very delicate. And then I have pulled some of my, some chain from my own stash, and this is tiny links. I'd say these are about 2mm links, 1.5 to 2mm, and we're going to be using some of that chain as well. And I've got a pretty big piece of it because I'm going to be cutting some tassel pieces for it. From the Summer Spirit box, I have the matte opaque glazed citron, opaque matte sea opal, and opaque glazed mauve delicas. Okay, these are from the Summer Spirit box. Yes. And then I have these little pink tourmaline beads, also from the Summer Spirit box. And then I have a little box clasp. This is from the Bloom box. And I've got some ball head pins from the Bloom box. Some tiny jump rings. Where did they go? I had the jump rings from the box as well. Okay, well, I may have to pull some of my own jump rings out because I don't know what I did with those. I had them here. I promise I did. Oh, they're behind me. Are they behind me? Yes, they are. Okay, they were behind me on my other desk. There they are. And I think that's all we're going to need besides our jewelry tool. So if we encounter something else that we need, then we'll go ahead and deal with it then. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to glue our pieces together. And to do this, I just take a piece of plastic, like a plastic baggie or whatever. I take my E6000 glue and a toothpick. And if you put this on the plastic, then look at this glue, it's a mess. If you put this on the plastic, it will come right off. It won't glue down. Like if you do this on your bead mat, you're gonna get it glued to your bead mat, trust me. Done it before. I'm gonna put a good dab in the middle there. And then I think I'm just gonna put a couple dabs on the edges of this gold filigree. And another thing with this E6000, if if it comes out the sides and shows, you can peel it off after it's dried. It does peel off really easy. In fact, I blinged out my motorcycle today with E6000 and cabochons. All right, so I'm going to make sure, here is the top right there, if you can see, there's the little loop, the top. I'm going to make sure this is sitting correctly and even. And then I'm just going to glue, and this glue is coming out everywhere. I'm just going to get a little glue on here because it's kind of wild right now. It's going all over the place. Put the lid on it. And I'm going to glue this cab right onto this filigree piece. Okay, and I'm just going to slide it until I get it right where I want it. Beautiful. And that turns an already pretty filigree piece into something really kind of spectacular. So we're just going to set this aside and let it dry. Okay, it'll set up in about 20 minutes, and then it'll be completely dry in about 24 hours, but we're just going to set it aside and let it dry. Now what we're going to do is we're going to create some chain tassels, some chain pieces for tassel, and some little pieces using, little tassel pieces using our beads. So we've got our ball head pins here. And all I'm going to do is dump out a small pile of Delicas. Don't need a whole lot for this, maybe a few more than that. A small pile of these blue ones. A small pile of the yellow. And a small pile of my pink tourmaline. Alright, let me zoom in a bit and adjust my camera. Okay, so all we're going to do is we're just going to make some little dangles. These will hang directly from these little spots here on the bottom of our medallion. So I'm going to take, I'm going to mix them. I'm just going to mix the colors together. So I'm going to do some blue, some yellow. I'm going to mix in a little bit of the pink tourmaline in each one just to give it some sparkle. See this? They're just going to create some small little dangles. Do a couple blue, another pink, yellow. That's probably long enough, unless, I don't know, I could go a couple longer. Let's do this. Let's do a blue, 2 pink, and that'll be it. Okay, so what you're going to do now is just create a loop. You're going to take your head pin, bend it at a 90-degree angle. I'm going to do a wrapped loop, I think. Did I leave enough to do a wrapped loop? It just needs to be a small loop. Yeah, he came off. That's okay. Alright. Maybe I shouldn't do a wrapped loop. I don't think I have enough to do a wrapped loop left. I'm just going to do a regular loop. So I bent it at a 90-degree angle, cutting it off, and then I'm just going to roll a loop back here. Just like this. Okay? And there we have a little dangle for our... Now, I don't know exactly how many of them I want because I want some chain in here too. I'm kind of designing this on the fly, of course. So I think I'm going to cut my chain. I'm wanting it to be longer in the middle than on the sides. And apparently my cutters need sharpened. Well, that chain just flew across the room. Okay, so I don't want it to be that long, obviously. That's way too long. So let me cut it down. I will measure this and show you here in just a minute what I'm doing. But I'm just trying to figure it out because this is in my head, but it's not necessarily been worked out yet because if I do that, then I don't have the beads to make it with. So, alright, so that looks pretty good. We're going to put that piece to the side. And then I'm going to do another one. I'm going to do one a little bit shorter than this one. So one way to measure your chain is to put it right on your head pin, hold it up, and you can see exactly where you need to cut. I'll go a little bit shorter for this one. Really need to sharpen those. And then I'm going to do one more the same length as the one I just did, and then I will measure them and tell you how long they are. Okay. And I knew I did that. I cut that one length too short. I could tell I was doing it when I did it, but I just went on ahead. Don't know why. Alright, these cutters, good Lord. I have to go sharpen them. Okay, so here's what I've got. I've got 3 pieces of chain. Should not have been that hard to cut it, but it was. Just like this. And let me grab my little ruler, wherever it has disappeared to. My whole desk has been a mess today. I've really been it's been a mess. So I don't know where my ruler went, the one that I need. This one won't work. So yeah, we've got about 2 that are just over an inch and 1 that's about 1.5 inches. Okay, so go with that. 2 that are over an inch, 1 that's 1.5 inches. And these are going to fit in here with these. So we've got this one right here, probably. We need to make another one to match him. Okay, so here's our little chain pieces. Let me scoot them over. We've got this little guy right here. We need another one to match him. So I'm going to do the exact same pattern. 2 yellow, 1 purple and my pink tourmaline, 2 blue, 1 purple, 1 yellow, 1 blue, and 1 purple. Okay, and I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to make a loop, 90-degree angle here, trim it up, and roll back a loop. And there is our second little dangle. And these you may have to kind of straighten out. Now, I need one to go in between these 2 pieces of chain right here. And it needs to be a little bit longer. And these ball head pins aren't quite long enough, I don't think. So I'm going to grab a couple from my stash that are a little bit longer. Just so I can make, I need 2 dangles that'll just be a little bit longer than what these are. Okay, so let me grab one more because those look to be 2 different colors. There we go. They're still 2 different colors. Huh, okay, we're going with it. So I'm just going to go ahead and do another. So I'm going to do 2 blue, a pink tourmaline. Well, I think I'm going to get him on there. There we go. A yellow, a blue, 2 yellow, a purple, a blue, 2 purple, 2 blue, and let's see how long that is. It needs to be a little bit longer. I'm wanting it to hang in between these 2 chain pieces. And it needs to go down a little bit longer than that chain. So I'm going to do another yellow, another pink tourmaline bead. Those are really hard to find the little holes in them. They do not want to just go on. A little bit more. A blue, a purple, 2 yellow. And that looks like that's going to do it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, make my 90-degree angle. And roll my loop back. I don't really like making regular loops with ball head pins. I prefer to do wrap loops with them, but I think it's going to be okay on these. And we're going to make another one just like that. So 2 blue, 1 pink tourmaline, 1 yellow, 1 blue, 2 yellow, 1 purple, 1 blue and 2 purple, 2 blue, 1 yellow, 1 pink tourmaline. Come on now. I think I dropped a blue. 2 blue, 1 yellow. No, I guess I didn't. 1 pink tourmaline. one blue, one purple, and 2 yellow. Okay, just like this. We're going to go ahead and make our loop. Okay, and there we have our other dangle. And then we have our chains and these two. Okay, so I've got this whole little thing here. I think I want to do a little bit more though. So I'm going to do a couple more chains that are actually smaller than these. And I'm just eyeballing this. I'm not really, we will hang it, and if we need to trim chains down when we hang it, we can definitely do that. It's not a problem. So I'm just kind of eyeballing it. So we've got this little guy here. Let's measure him with our head pin. So if you put him on there, then you take your other piece of chain and you hang it on here. Then it makes it a little easier to see where to trim your chain if you do it right. Okay. My cutters are just really terrible. I've got to get them sharpened. There we go. All right, so those are 2 more little chains for the ends. All right, so let's go ahead and hang this on here. Let me move these out of the way real quick. Okay, so here's our medallion. And it's probably set up enough to where you can pick it up off of the thing. Just be careful with it. But it's, I mean, it's obviously not completely dry, but it's set a little bit. Okay, so we're going to need our tiny jump rings. Trying to get stuff out of my way as I'm working so I don't have a big huge mess here, because again I've lost, here they are, my tiny jump rings. Alright, so tiny jump rings here, and we're just going to hook these on. So I know that this long piece of chain needs to go right in the middle, right here. That's the very middle of the whole thing. Alright, so I'm going to take the jump ring, not my cutters. Take the jump ring. These are oval jump rings too, which I absolutely love that they've included oval jump rings. I feel like they're just more secure. And I'm sorry if you can hear the TV. Chris is, I don't know what he's watching down there, but it's loud. So let's see if this jump ring's big enough. It's not really big enough. Let me grab one just to size up from that one. Just because this is kind of a little bit bigger area, and I want to make sure that there's enough room for it to dangle and not get stuck in there, or not feel bound up in there. So I'm just going to grab a different jump ring. I've got some that are just a little tiny bit bigger that'll work. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and hang our big long piece of chain on the jump ring and right here in the middle. Close this up. And there we have our first little piece of chain. Okay, now the rest of these I think we can use these jump rings for, and I'm just going to hang the next 2 right beside it. Oh, this little guy, this little seed bead's getting up in here. We don't want that. Let's make sure that I have that closed really good. I thought I did, but I didn't apparently. Okay, don't want my little seed beads migrating up into the loop. Okay, So we're just going to hook this one. I'm going to hook it right here. Close it up really good. Okay. And there's our second piece of our tassel. Go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. Let me make sure this one's closed up really good too. And I'm just going to hang it right beside that on the other side. Okay. And there we have those. Now we're going to take our longer pieces of chain, which I just got all confused here, and we're just going to hook them. Let's see, these are really close together. If I hook it all the way over here, there's going to be a big gap, but we have a problem because, I don't know, let's try it and see what it looks like. I didn't totally anticipate that. I may have to use a really big jump ring and hang them. I don't know, I guess we could poke a hole through that even with a beading awl. Probably could do that if I needed to. Let's try this and see what it looks like. Whoops. Just gonna hang it right here from this next blank spot. Okay, let's do the other one. I'm going to go ahead and do them all and just see how they look. And then if I have to fill it in by poking a hole there, I can do that. If you have a metal punch, that would work to poke a hole through it. And I may have to do that. Okay. But I don't know. I may not have to. It really doesn't look bad at all. So we're going to add these next two on with little jump rings. I've got glue on my fingers now, so I'm having trouble hanging on to things. Okay. Okay, so let's hook these next two on. And I can see already that this is not closed, so make sure that all of your little rings are closed up really good, because these will come out. They're tiny, thin little pieces. Okay, and the last one over here, I'm getting ready to hang the last beaded one on. All right. Okay. And again, let me make sure that this one's closed because I can see that it's not totally. There we go. All right. So it really is kind of looking cute, even though I'm going to do these last two on here. Even though we have a bit of a gap there, I don't think that it's really, I don't think it takes away from it. So let's hang the last two on and then we'll evaluate. We'll look at it and see what we think. Okay. And last one. Okay. So, actually, I think it looks really cute. Look at that. Such a cute little beaded tassel there. I'm liking it. Okay, so I think I'm just going to leave it like it is. I honestly don't think that it needs anything else. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to take our piece of beaded chain here, and we're going to take our other chain, and what you need to do is decide where you want this to hang on you, okay? So this is only one length, obviously, so I'm going to come to the very middle. I'm going to hook my jump ring right here on the very middle between this one and this one. And I'm just going to use probably just one of these small jump rings so that it doesn't float around. I don't really want it to float on the chain a whole lot. So let's just go ahead and do that. I think this will keep it from moving too much. Now, which one was I going in between? These two right here. And I'm just going to hang that right across the chain. And like I said, I don't think it will float much because this jump ring's small. So I think that's going to be okay. There it is. Very pretty. Now, I wanted to take this chain and do a little layer, just because I think it gives it kind of a boho. It's already kind of a boho look. Let me go back out with my camera here so you can see everything. So I'm just going to go up here to the top of this chain, and we'll have to hook these together. And let's see, do I want it to hang? See, I just kind of lay these out on the table when I'm doing something like this, a layering thing. I lay it out on the table, and just like it would be on your body, I just kind of lay it like this and see where I like it to be. And I think I want it to be right about there, and I'm probably even going to do a third layer. So I'm going to cut this, and I will tell you the lengths here in just a minute, okay? Let me go ahead and cut it. And then I think I am going to do a third layer even. I just like the look of this layered chain. Let's do this one up even more. Right about there, and I'm going to go ahead and cut it. Okay, now let me tell you the lengths of the chain. So the last one, get that out of the way a second. The last length of chain, the shortest one, is, let's say, about 15 inches. Okay, the first length of chain, which is the longer one, is 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 inches. So I have a 15-inch strand and an 18-inch strand. And this one, it came pre-cut, but I will tell you, I'll go ahead and let you know how long it is, just in case you want to use a different chain. This one's actually, let's see, about 20 inches. Okay, so we've got a 20-inch piece, an 18-inch piece, and a 15-inch piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm going up here to the top, and I just need to look at this and see what I have going on. So this chain pretty much ends right here with this little loop. If you can see, it's a teeny tiny little loop. And I have one on that side. Do I have one? I do have one on both sides. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this jump ring, one of these tiny jump rings, and I'm going to hang this chain on first, right through that little loop, if I can get it. Okay, it is. Very good. And then I need to hang my longer chain, which I have them mixed up here now. See if I can do this one-handed, figure out which one's which. Okay, so this is the longer one. I'm going to hang it on next. And then my shorter one last. Okay, and then I'm just going to close this jump ring, Make sure that it's closed really good. And I'm going to lay it down right here. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And I need to make sure that I do them in the same order. Otherwise your chains are going to cross, which is okay. That actually wouldn't be a bad look either for the kind of boho look. So I'm going to do my beaded chain first. Okay. Then my longer chain, which again, I have mixed them up. I don't know which one's which. Here it is. My longer chain next. And my shorter chain last. All right. And I'm going to close this jump ring. And then when I hold this up, I have a really pretty little layered chain necklace. Now, we need to finish it. Okay, so we've got our 2 jump rings here. I'm having trouble getting a hold of. Here's one. And here's my other one. And what I need to do is hook this box clasp on. Just trying to get that jump ring laying up there so I can hook the box clasp on. Okay. Where's the box clasp? Here it is. Alrighty, so we've got our box clasp. I like to take these apart to do this because it's a little less confusing, I think. Now, the box clasp has 3. I actually could have hooked them all 3 to it, but I didn't really want to do that. I just felt like that would lend itself to a lot of tangling up. So I'm just going to use this jump ring. And I'm just going to hook to the middle rung on my box clasp. From this, I'm hooking onto this jump ring and then onto the middle rung, middle loop of my box clasp right there. Okay, closing it up. And the same thing on the other side. Hooking to this rung, or this jump ring in the middle rung on my box clasp. Okay. And that is how we finish off our little necklace. So let me put this in here. Very pretty. All right.
Dinner time.
So it's dinner time, as you can hear, just in time. Here is our finished necklace. Let me put it on a form and I will show it to you. Okay, so here's our finished necklace. Please excuse the mess in the background. That's my beading area. It's always a mess. But I love this. I think it turned out really pretty. There's our tassel. Very nice. And then our layered chains up to the top. So I think it's just really cute boho style. You could even hang something right there if you wanted from the chains, but I think I'm just going to leave it like it is. I really like it. So again, I will have links for beadingschool.com in the description box below this video. And I'm going to get off here and get some things done. And you guys have a great rest of the evening. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.